Well, the NFC West is going to be even more competitive this year, with not only the Seahawks getting better, but also the Rams not changing a thing. Also, the 49ers may be up in that category, also along with the Cardinals. But which NFC West team has the most pressure on their shoulders next season? It's football time. Alrighty, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the All Around Sports Podcast. So sports are everything on this channel. I'm your host, Antonio. Today, we are talking about the NFC West, as each team has been respectively busy. As the Rams, after getting eliminated in the divisional round to the eventual Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, they retooled their roster by getting Devontae Adams in free agency while letting go of Cooper Kupp, and then also reassuring that defense as well. Meanwhile, the Seahawks, after a 10-7 season last year, got rid of Geno Smith and traded him to the Raiders, which I'm hoping he succeeds there, and instead got Sam Darnold instead, who just had a breakout season in the city of Minnesota. We can't wait to see if he brings that to the Seattle Seahawks. While the Seahawks have been mostly busy after reassuring that defense with the pick of Nick Imamware, making that defense even stronger, also bringing in a few different wide receivers in both free agency and the draft, getting Cooper Kupp and also MVS, while getting Troy Horton and Ricky White in the draft. Also, the Seahawks have been busy on reassuring that defense, re-signing Ernest Jones and Jarran Reed. Meanwhile, San Francisco has had their hands full after having let go of 6 of their key defensive players and trading away 2 of their best offensive players in Deebo Samuel and Jordan Mason last year. Say what? Now the 49ers are in a big question mark to see where they're going to be at this point in the season. Meanwhile, the Cardinals, they've been mostly busy having an A+ according to PFF. And their defense is there, but it all relies on the hands of Kyler Murray. But the question is, which NFC West team has the most pressure on them this season? I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Before we get started, though, if you guys do enjoy this video, do me a favor, smash that button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. For now, let's talk about the West. So the NFC West. I think right now the most pressure team is the 49ers. Because they got the easiest schedule in the league. And if they don't make the playoffs, this will be a massive failure for the team. I don't think the Seahawks are under that much pressure because they're always in the 500 category. And if I had to give a pressure rank, this would be my list up here. I would have the Niners at 1, Rams at 2, Cardinals at 3, and the Seahawks at 4. Because I don't think there's much pressure on the Seahawks because even though they were 10-7 last year, did miss the playoffs, but they're going to be back next year stronger than ever. That defense primarily. When I look at the 49ers, there's no excuse for you not to make the playoffs. You have the easiest schedule in the world. Why I have the Rams at number 2 is because this team was just in the divisional round. And the main thing that killed them, or mainly hurt them, was the run defense. They allowed 4 50-yard touchdowns against Saquon Barkley and the Eagles. And if that doesn't change, you're not going to win a Super Bowl under that roster, which now you're projected to be in. Let's calm down in that for a second. Then you got the Arizona Cardinals, which they did retool. I'll give them that. But they are either the team that can rise up and prove they're a playoff contender one game, or they're a team that can come back crashing down to earth and crumble like a bag of chips. because the Cardinals, you just never know with them. They've only had a few playoff wins in a 100-year span since they were back in the St. Louis Cardinals. But now to the Seahawks. I don't think there's much pressure on them because I don't think there's a lot of people in the media looking at them because it happens every single year. Everybody overlooks the Seahawks every single time. And of course, the week 1 games to keep a close eye on are the Seahawks versus 49ers week 1 back home in Seattle. Also having the Rams taking on the Houston Texans in week 1 too at SoFi Stadium. And then the Cardinals take on the New Orleans Saints. That should be an easy win for them. If they lose that game, that might be a little red flag right away. But when I look at the division, I think the 49ers have to win. If they don't make the playoffs, Shanahan could be out the door before you know it.
All I see is a broken promise.
And as far as the Rams go, we know that Stafford's already a Super Bowl champion. He won a Super Bowl back when Aaron Donald was with the team. They haven't sniffed that much of a Super Bowl since. But there has been rumors that there could possibly be a trade for Jalen Ramsey between 3 of the Western teams. Jalen Ramsey, do not go to San Francisco. Do not. Either go somewhere else. We Seahawks don't want your nonsense. And Rams, I don't know what you're thinking about going after Jalen Ramsey. He's a hothead. He is a hothead. You all know that. He is the hottest head in the NFL. So don't even try to go after Jalen Ramsey. If you do, he's going to destroy your locker room. And that goes for you too, Niners. And Seahawks, you better not get him. I'm warning you right now. You better not go after him. But enough about that. When I look at the West, it is one of the more competitive divisions in the NFL. It's extremely wild this year. Because this season's full of a lot of what ifs. Let's go throughout the division. 49ers, we're not sure if they're going to stay fully healthy because they're so injury prone every year. Seahawks, their main question is Sam Darnold. We know the defense is going to be there, but not Sam Darnold. We're not sure about him yet. Rams, we're not sure if they're going to be able to stop the run because that's what hurt them last year against the Eagles. Cardinals, we don't know if they're going to be the team that proves they're a playoff contender or they're a team that crumbles like a bag of chips. When I look at the West, I said this before. I'm going to say it again. I think the Seahawks have a chance to win the division because, let me explain. The Seahawks have had a top 15 defense in almost every category last year. I think there's only like 1 or 2 categories that they didn't finish top 15 in. Correct me if I'm wrong. When we look at the defense of Seattle, they just brought in the scariest safety in the draft, arguably the second best safety in the draft, Nick Imamware. And the defense, we already know Ernest Jones played a big factor when he arrived. When Ernest Jones arrived, we were not great on defense. I think we were like what 20th in run defense. When he got there, that all changed. And the defense is only going to get stronger with the coordination of Mike McDonald. He was the team man that had the Ravens as the number 1 defense 2 years ago. Of course, they lost to the Chiefs. But when I look at the Seahawks, they have an offensive core that is talented. Now, Sam Darnold, still a question mark. If I'm looking at the one thing that's going to be the thing that gets the Seahawks in the division, it's the defense. Why I'm taking the Seahawks ahead of the Rams is because the Rams, they split with the Seahawks last year. And the first time that they met up, if Seattle had run the ball on 4th and 1 in the field goal range in that overtime game, things would have been different. I believe it would have been different if you kick the field goal, you had a chance on defense, the game is over. Now, of course, Demarcus Robinson might have gone down the field and scored anyways, but at least they would have had a better chance. The Seahawks gave themselves up in that game. They beat themselves. So I'm looking at it this way. If Seattle had changed it up, maybe if they had done something sneaky like a double reverse, then they would have won that game and probably would have put the sweep on the Rams. I'm not taking that for granted though. Don't call me on that. I'm not saying that the Seahawks would have swept them. What I'm saying is, in that first matchup they had in Seattle, the Seahawks beat themselves that game. They ain't gonna do that again. I hope not. But when I look at the Seahawks, they are right now better equipped to take on the division rivals. Because look at them last year. They beat San Francisco in Santa Clara.
Just one sucker! I'll be back! Oh, Barnacle.
And always beat the Cardinals because we own the Cardinals.
Not cool, man. Not cool. Can't you two do anything right?
And the Rams, even though they're throwing saying dang shot every once in a while, the 49ers, let's look at it this way. Look, who was the quarterback last year that threw for a 97-yard touchdown against the 49ers and beat them 23-17? Oh, right. The quarterback that Seattle just got, Sam Darnold. And who was the offensive coordinator of the 49ers when they went to that Super Bowl? Oh, yeah, Glenn Kubiak, now the Seahawks. When I look at this Seahawks, they are better equipped. They got rid of Geno for a reason, and they got Jalen Milroe with that pick. But they did it for a reason. They wouldn't have traded away Geno Smith if they did not have a plan. Because John Schneider, he wouldn't have just traded away Geno Smith if he didn't have a plan. And I can see what the plan is. I'm kind of starting to see little visuals. Little keys. The defense. Nick Mangwari, you selected him. Brought that defense to a better place. Also, you look at the offense, they got talent. They got JSN, Cooper Kupp, Troy Horton, MVS may not be a big of a factor, but MVS could be a fourth-string wide receiver right behind Troy Horton. But then you look at the run game. You got K9, Charbonnet, and Martinez, which I actually like the pick of Martinez because I know I'm supposed to talk about the West, but I'm talking about the Seahawks for a second. They picked Damian Martinez. Think about it this way. What if K9 gets hurt again? Damian Martinez is a wrecking ball. If you haven't seen any of his college highlights, go look back at each of his college highlights. Go and look back at the games that he played with the Miami Hurricanes. Go look back at the rushes he had. He was bulldozing guys to left and right. And when you play in a division that is solely sold on defense, that's a good thing to have because K9 is kind of like Christian McCaffrey. He can be hurt one game, and then can be healthy another. Damian Martinez and Charbonnet is not a bad idea for a running back duo until K9 gets back. It's not a bad idea. Then you look at the tight end room. You got Noah Fant, A.J. Bonner, who was a rookie stud last year, and the rookie Elijah Arroyo, and the fullback Robbie Quartz from Alabama. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. And Robbie Quartz, he is a beast. He can run as well. He ran for some time at Alabama. I watched some of his highlights. This guy is a beast. And when I look at the Rams draft class, nothing pretty much eye-popping to me. Because we already know that the Rams are going to be back. We already know they're going to be a top team. They're going to start slow, but then they're going to progress back up. 49ers, we don't know with them because they're either the team that can stay healthy and be a Super Bowl contender, or they're a team that can get injured right in the mere snap of my fingers.
Hey, genius! It's a jawbreaker! You're never gonna...
Because they can't stay healthy. Christian McCaffrey can even get hurt going on the dang plane. He can get hurt going on the dang training camp field. And Like my grandma always said, can't win with them, can't win without them. Because that is what the Niners are. When they have their guys, even when they had their guys, they didn't beat Seattle. Now, I get that Nick Bosa was hurt. I get all that. But still, you don't allow the Seattle Seahawks, Geno Smith, to look like primetime Michael Vick.
Come on, Junior. Wait here, Junior. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
You don't allow that. Because that is a different story. You had most of your guys there. Didn't you have George Kittle? Didn't you have Jawan Jennings? Didn't you have Deebo Samuel? Didn't you have Jordan Mason? And you lost to them in week 11, I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. When I look at the 49ers, they did not get better. I am sick and tired of everyone saying that they're a top 10 team, top 7 team to make a Super Bowl. They did not get better. They did not. They had a D according to PFF. And each of their division rivals had a better grade. Rams, B+. Seahawks, straight A. Cardinals, A+. When I look at the San Francisco 49ers, Bryce Huff, he might be a good player, but he's only had 1 year where he's had 10 sacks. 1 year, and that's it. No one else. Because we're acting like he's a superstar. Let's calm down. He only had 1 year with 10 or more sacks. You want a guy that can game changer? Why didn't you go after Hassan Reddick? You had the money. Instead, you're paying Purdy the $265 million when you could have used that money somewhere else. Because I'm not discrediting Purdy. I am not discrediting him. People come at me thinking I'm discrediting him. I am not discrediting him at all. I agree that he should have gotten a contract. I totally agree. But I just would not have given him that much. I just wouldn't have given him that much for 5 years. For $53 million per season. That's what I wouldn't have paid him that much. I probably would have paid him like 150 for a 5 year, like DK. Even though Purdy's not a wide receiver. But he plays like he's a not top 10 quarterback. And I'm sick and tired of people putting him in that conversation. Does he have a Super Bowl ring? Has he performed when his weapons are hurt? Has he been in the big games? Has he not choked 18 10-point leads? Well, that's Kyle Shanahan, but still, he's choked 10-point leads. Then we move down to the Cardinals. Cardinals, they had a chance to knock off the Rams in Week 17 to keep my Hawks alive in the playoff race. They lost that game because Kyler Murray decided for some weird reason that they hadn't learned a single thing from Super Bowl 49 when the Seahawks threw it at the 1-yard line. Still burns me to this day. They did not learn that lesson. Although it was at the 5-yard line. Everyone knows in that situation, you run the ball. I get James Conner was out. But still, you run the ball. Every team in that situation, every football analyst in their right mind that has a good brain knows in that situation, you run the football. If they would have run the ball, I think they would have beaten the Rams. I think they would have. And they would have saved the Seahawks season. And then if the Seahawks went into LA and beat them, then they would have made the playoffs. So I'm not saying that the rest of the division is bad. I'm not saying that any of them are scrubs. I am simply saying Seattle is right now equipped to go against some of these teams more than they were in the past. And another thing I wanted to note, when Seahawks quarterbacks have made their debut with the team, let's look at Geno Smith. When he made his debut against the Denver Broncos in that season opener, what did he do? He won the team the ball game in a 17-16 ball game. Every Seahawks quarterback that has been in a season opener with a debut as the starter, they have won. And Sam Darnold could possibly be the next one. Now, we'll see what happens in week 1. We'll see what happens with the rest of the division. But for right now, the team with the most pressure are the 49ers, and the Rams ain't far behind. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Which team do you guys think is under the most pressure this NFL season? Is it the 49ers, Rams, Seahawks, or Cardinals? Let me know in the comments what you guys think down below. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, do me a favor, smash the button down below, subscribe if you haven't already. Till next time, I'll see you all in the next one. Ciao for now.